You know, the story of Africa for a very long time has been that of servitude, of poverty, sickness, disease, misfortune, struggle, war. You know, that has been the image that Africa has been known for centuries. And it has been a deliberate campaign. It has been a relentless, never-ending, deliberate campaign to ensure that this is the kind of image that Africa is identified with to the rest of the world. I'm telling you. And now it has gotten to a place where the images that have been sold to us have become deep-seated in our subconscious mind. So much to the extent that we have begun rejecting our own heritage. We have been convinced that we have an identity crisis. No, we don't have an identity crisis. We are African people, not African Americans, not African descendants of slaves, not black people, not people of color. We are African descendants. We are African people. We do not have an identity crisis. But the identity crisis that we have about ourselves has stemmed from centuries of miseducation. You know, I'm talking about Africans on the continent and our folk in the diaspora. When I talk about Africans in the diaspora, I'm talking about our brethren, the sons and daughters of the land of the African continent that were taken forcefully during the era of slavery. Yes. And so now that has, we have been subjected to miseducation. We have been groomed into, thinking. We have been groomed into viewing every other ethnicity as being superior to us. I'm telling you. And the media propaganda that has been propagated into our education system and the media has served so well in ensuring that the image we have about our heritage, about our history is distorted. And the image that we have about each other is distorted. And as we are busy looking at each other from the lens of you are continental Africans, and you are Africans from the diaspora, as we are busy pointing fingers at each other, strangers are devouring our lands. Strangers are devouring our inheritance. I'm telling you, our brethren in the diaspora have been convinced that you are not Africans for whatever reason, however weird that sounds. And the Africans on the continent have also been convinced into thinking that Africans in the diaspora, especially those that are descendants of slaves, quotes, those that were taken during the era of slavery, that they are not Africans. So now that subconscious, inbuilt, twisted, psychological infrastructure is causing us to point fingers at each other. And while we are busy blaming each other, while we are busy walking around circles, these very strangers are devouring our land, our resources, our young people, our culture, our economics, our social spaces, and our political spaces. And I say, for centuries, these people, strange men and women, in form of donors or investors, have devoured our inheritance and continue and will continue if we do not stand up and take responsibility for who we are and where we have been, and we begin building from scratch. We have a very ugly history. Our history is marred in blood, and that is just one part of it. But on the flip side of the coin, we have the richest heritage, the richest roots, the deepest, history. Why not focus on that part and begin to let us pick the remaining pieces of what is left of Africa? And that is a lot. I'm telling you. So I call upon our brethren, especially those that are watching me across the African continent and across the diaspora in America. It is time for us to, I always said, we are not overpowered. We are not outnumbered. We are simply not organized. We are simply not working as one. And now is the time that we stop dwelling on the ugly things that happen to us. Because if we dwell, that's what they want us to do. They want us to focus on colonialism. They want us to focus on slavery. They want us to just focus on that bit. And yet, on the other side, they are busy taking up lands. They are busy exploiting the gold, the diamonds, the uranium, everything, because make no mistake, Africa is the one, we are the ones that have built the glories in the West. Be it in Europe, the kingdoms in Europe, the Americas, the Middle East, you name it. Now Asia. For how long shall we keep feeding other continents, yet we are not operating in the cognition, in the cognizance of who we are and what we have. We have whatever we need, and whatever we don't have, we do have the ability to acquire. The only remaining thing for Africa to rise again is the return of the sons and daughters of Africa back to the African continent. So don't fall for deception that you are a special breed of people. You are Africans, as long as your skin looks like mine. And thank God that Africans have all kinds of skins. I'm telling you, as long as you are melanated, you belong to Africa. Africa belongs to you. Africa is your home. So stop believing people that be telling you need a special kind of medication, because Africa there is malaria, there is Ebola, there is cholera. How come they are not dying of Ebola? So they are not native to the land, so they need special medication. But your blood is from Africa. And I'm saying this out of frustration, out of a sense of urgency, because if we don't take action, we are going to become slaves in our continent. If we don't take action, if we don't join hands and unify and begin to build. Brothers and sisters, I take this opportunity to invite all of you to be a part of the second delegation that is coming to visit Uganda. We had our first delegation of African Americans in 2023 in the month of June and July. Now we do have the second delegation, and this time I'm happy to announce we have more people that have signed up to come and be a part of this delegation. We are going around African nations, beginning from right here in Uganda. I'll bring them on the show. I hope that during the course of this June, I'll bring them on the show. We had a very productive conversation with our ambassador Abe, and we set the foundation for the second delegation, which is set to be received. We are receiving them this year. Drop me an email. Let me put you in touch with our American ambassadors. Come, see the land, see for yourself. Let your feet kiss the ground. Forget about those deceptions, the lies that you've been told. No. Africa is real. They are making it in Africa. The very people that are keeping their knees on our necks they're becoming multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires in US dollars and in British pounds and in euros. And they are telling you for some reason that you cannot come and make it. So there is something they see about Africa that they're exploiting. And that thing that they see, the potential, is what they're making sure that you don't see. And that is why they're turning Africans against Africans in the diaspora, and the Africans in the diaspora against the African continent. So we need to break the old systems that were anchored upon imperialism, upon exploitation, and begin building new systems. Lest our offspring also walk into the same trap. Lest our offspring also become frustrated. Lest they also move in the same struggles, economic, social, and political. We will not adhere to the fears of our fathers. No. We are the generation that is saying Africa belongs to Africans on the continent and in the diaspora. My name is Douglas Majega. And once again, I encourage you who is watching me to subscribe to the second delegation that is coming from the diaspora to come to Uganda, exploring business opportunities. Because at the end of the day, we are simply saying, visit the land, scout for business opportunities, set up businesses. We have already helped a number of African Americans to set up businesses. Shout out to Brother Arthur, Director of Birthstone Genetics. Shout out to Brother Sam, Brother Larry, Sister Maketa. Shout out to all our African American brethren that have come here, and we have helped them to set up their businesses. So this is what we are saying. Africa is fruitful. The land is fruitful. Yes, but strangers are devouring our land, and they continue, and they will continue if we don't unify. And it is the only thing that is remaining for the rise of this great African empire. Till next time, drop me a comment, drop me an email. Let us connect, let us mobilize and organize well, so we lay the foundation for a mass repatriation of African diaspora back to the land of Africa. Till next time, shout out to the entire fraternity of my fellow reporters, correspondents, and contributors at the African Diaspora News Channel. I would like to send a special warm gratitude to King Kellen Cash and King Phil for this great platform, airing to millions of people around the nations, empowering Africans to get together and build together and go and return to the land of our heritage. My name is Douglas Majoga, and I'm coming to you from Kampala, Uganda. Till next time, bye-bye.